Hello, everyone, and welcome to Travel Bulletin's latest training webinar. This one is focused on the Middle East. It's going to be, it's going to be a very big year for the Middle East, especially with the publicity that will be created around some really high-profile sporting events taking place. We've got F1, which we've just had, and obviously more to come in F1 later in the year. We've also got other sporting events like the World Cup in Qatar. As a result, hopefully there'll be much more interest in traveling to the region as a whole. As for today, we're going to learn a lot more about what Al-Khaimah and Saudi Arabia has to offer you and your customers. So let's first introduce on screen the Market Manager UK and Ireland for Al-Khaimah, Emma Charlesworth, and the Account Director for Saudi Tourism, Shola Thompson. Hello, both of you. Are you well?
Hi, very good, thank you. How are you?
You know, I'm very well, Emma, yes. Tell me what you've been up to today. Have you been very, very busy working very, very hard?
Of course, always.
How about you, Shola? What have you been up to today?
Non-stop working. It's a good day for Saudi, so all good here.
My goodness gracious me, you two, I'm surprised you've got time to do webinars, but anyway, it's good here. So in terms of what both our partners today will share with us a live 15-minute training session. That'll be followed by an individual Q&A. As always, if anyone wants to ask or submit questions for each presenter using please the Q&A function, that will be great. We'll get through as many questions as we can within the time that we have. Any that we don't manage to deal with in the allocated time, we'll forward on to our partners, both Emma and to Shola, and they will come back to you with the answers over the course of the rest of the day. At the end of each training session, our partners will also announce their competition prize and question. So you'll need to enter your answers, as always, after the webinar has finished, via our website, travelbulletin.co.uk/webinar competition. Now, I'm going to say this again now, because the minute you start saying anything to do with your prize, guys, there's going to be loads on the chat function. They'll be straight out going, how do I enter? And they'll say the answer. We'll have lots of people putting the answer in or whatever it might be. So please, 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 everyone, just note, go to the website afterwards, travelbulletin.co.uk/webinar competition, and that's how you enter. Deadline for today's prizes is this Wednesday, the 30th of March at 4 p.m. Now, we have some amazing prizes up for grabs today. We've got 2 nights stay in a classic sea view room for 2 with breakfast at the Intercontinental Al-Khaimah Mina Al Arab Resort and Spa. Did I say that roughly right?
Yep, that was good. Well done.
It's a miracle in itself. And also we have an agent fan trip in place for Q4 of this year to Saudi. Wow, that sounds amazing, Charlotte.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to welcoming so many agents over to Saudi. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of those entries.
Yeah, well, that's what we want. Absolutely. Good luck to everyone. And make sure you listen to all of the presentations carefully so that you have your very best chance of winning. Because it's like going to one of our live events, listen all the way through, and then you've got the best chance of winning because you have been paying full attention to everyone's presentations. Okay, we're going to kick off a prize straight away now, because Travel Bulletin is going to give away a prize. We're going to give away a spot prize of a £20 Amazon voucher. Okay, so at the moment we have around about 50 people in the house. I don't know whether you can say things like that, but that's what I've said. So we've got lots of agents listening. Now, if you're listening and you're here and you're ready, it's a £20 Amazon voucher. And to check you've been listening so far, mainly to me, unfortunately, which huge sporting event is taking place in Qatar later this year? Post your winners, post your answers now on the chat function. Put it on the chat function now. And we're going to, one of my colleagues is going to, not me, one of my colleagues is going to pick a lucky winner chosen at random, and we will find out who that winner is a bit later on in the webinar. Okay, so enough excitement already. Let's get on with the training and begin with our Al-Khaimah presentation. Charlotte, we will see you a bit later on. Fantastic. So now I will, okay, so Emma, you're all ready. You need to prepare yourself. My colleague Ash is now going to play a video and we'll see you after your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, great. I hope you all enjoyed that little video. So my name's Emma. I'm the UK Market Manager for Ras Al-Khaimah. I'm really pleased to be here and representing such an exciting and unique holiday destination. So today I'm going to give you a full overview of the destination and all the amazing things it has to offer. So first of all, it's really important to highlight how easily accessible Ras Al-Khaimah is as a destination. So the transfer time is only 45 minutes from Dubai Airport along the highway. And obviously from the UK, there's a fantastic selection of direct flights to Dubai from many of the regional airports, as well as from London. So some key facts for you to know. So Ras Al-Khaimah is the 4th largest of the Emirates. It's got a population of 340,000. It covers an area just over 1,600 square kilometers. So just to give you an idea, that's just bigger than the size of London. They've got a really realistic and really ambitious target to achieve 3 million tourists to the area by the end of 2030. Currently, we've got 48 hotels, so that's over 7,000 rooms, lots of meeting and conference space. And the plan is to have an additional 4,300 rooms by 2025. So there's lots to come to Ras Al-Khaimah. So this map gives you a great overview of the destination as a whole. So starting from the right-hand side, you've got this first area that you're going to arrive to when you're coming from the airport. And this area is Marjan Island. So this is where you're going to find hotel resorts such as the Doubletree, the Hampton by Hilton, the Rixos. Further along, this area is closely followed by Al-Hamra village, where you've got the Waldorf Astoria. You've also got the golf course and a mall here, and you've got Al Jazeera Al-Hamra Fort, where you've got regular events happening, such as currently an art festival, and you have conventions and things like that. A little further along, you've then got Mina Al Arab, where you're going to find the new Intercontinental Hotel on the beachfront, and there's going to be more hotels to come to this area. Then we come to the main old town centre. And again, this is where you've got hotels like the Hilton on the beach. There's more malls in this area, and it's all focused around these beautiful mangroves. It's really pretty. So behind here, behind the seafront area, this is where you're going to find your desert camps. You've got Al Wadi Nature Reserve, and the whole area is eclipsed by the beautiful Hajar Mountains. Over on the left-hand side, you can see Jebel Jais. This is the highest peak in the UAE, and it's really these mountains that is what makes Ras Al Khaimah such a unique destination. So I just wanted to highlight the newest hotel to open in Ras Al Khaimah. The feedback we're already receiving for this hotel is fantastic. So this is the new Intercontinental. The resort's design is inspired by the 3 original tribes of the Emirates. So that's the mountain, the desert, and the sea. And it offers 351 sea-facing rooms. You've got suites, you've got private pool villas, 6 dining outlets, and you've got an exclusive club, Intercontinental. I think you'll agree it looks like an amazing hotel. We recently launched a new logo to celebrate Ras Al Khaimah, and I think it perfectly encaptures the main highlights of the destination. It's really important to us to highlight the mountains, the desert, and the beach. So remember that, the mountains, the desert, and the beach. We like to say that it's a destination that's always in motion, just like I think the logo really represents. So what does Ras Al Khaimah stand for? So it's nature, it's incredible culture and history, adventure, leisure, and most importantly, authenticity. So let's talk a bit about the culture and heritage. So Ras Al Khaimah has an incredibly rich history with over 7,000 years of recorded human history to the area. You can visit the National Museum, and that shows you a historical timeline of the place and all the people, which is really interesting to visit. Al Jazeera Al Hamra, I mentioned before, it's used now mainly for events, but it's an old abandoned village where you've got some buildings that are made out of coral. It's very pretty. You can also visit Daya Fort. So when you actually go to Ras Al Khaimah, you'll see that there's lots of little forts dotted around, which were built when the people had to defend themselves from the British back in the 18th century. And Daya Fort is the best preserved and the most beautiful of these to visit. So pearl farming in Ras Al Khaimah, this dates as far back as the 12th century and has always been an incredibly important thing to the local area. Couples and families can now take a trip to the pearl farm. You can learn all about the history, as well as heading out on a traditional fishing boat and actually getting to witness a pearl be removed from an oyster. It's a really popular, really sort of relaxing day out for the family. And it's a great spot for lunch as they offer traditional Emirati dining overlooking the water as well. So speaking about water, lots of water activities with over 64 kilometers of beaches and over 48 hotels. There's a vast selection of water sports available. You've got lots to choose from for all types of adventurer, whether you want to head out on a fast-paced jet ski or just relax in the mangroves on a kayak. Then we head to the desert. We've got some fantastic experiences for all the family here. So everyone knows about the fantastic dune bashing safaris that are really fast-paced, really fun, really popular. You can slow down a bit on a traditional camel ride, or you can visit the beautiful nature reserve that we've got at Al Wadi. And here it's really nice for families. You can get up and close to visit and feed the onyxes, and it's a really nice experience. There's also horse riding, archery, and the falcon shows are really, really popular. Again, a really nice day out with the family. We've got many desert camps in Ras Al Khaimah. So some of them do offer overnight camping in the desert. And it's just really, unique. You've got incredible peace and quiet, and obviously unbeatable views of the night sky in the evening. So this is the newest, the Sonara Camp Al Wadi. This offers incredible sunset views while you can sit and enjoy a nice evening refreshing drink. This is followed by a really refined dining experience, and you get some really top entertainment like fire shows. It's really nice. So then we head to the mountains, and this is where all the truly most exciting activities can be found. So the Jebel Jais peak sits at 1,934 meters above sea level. You actually find up here that the temperatures can be up to 10 degrees cooler than down in the town. You can take part in lots of different activities in the mountains. So you've got yoga classes, hiking trails. You could just go sit in the viewing park and take in the amazing views. But obviously the most famous and the most exhilarating activity on Jebel Jais is, of course, the Jais Flight zip line. It's the longest zip line in the world. You fly incredibly fast through the mountains for over 2 kilometers. It's really, really good. And alternatively, if that sounds a bit too daunting for you, you can also choose to take the Jai's Sky Tour, which is a series of smaller zip lines that kind of course down through the mountains, and you're in a seated position instead of head first. The newest attraction that you can see on the screen is the Jai's Sledder. This has become very popular already, and it's like a mountain roller coaster. You get your own little individual coaster and you control the speed that you go through the mountains. And obviously you have amazing views. So lower down the mountain, we're really proud to have the extremely popular Bear Grylls Explorers Camp. This is really, really good for like outdoorsy families and couples. You can take part in survival courses in the mountains, and they range from 4 hours to 8 hours, and they even do 24-hour overnight camping stays. You've got 1484 by Puro, which is the highest restaurant in all of the UAE. Obviously a fantastic spot to sit and just enjoy some amazing food, amazing drinks with really unbeatable views over the mountains. Even more activities are on offer at Wadi Shilka. The highlight here is the canyoning. So Ras Al Khaimah doesn't have a water park, but at Wadi Shilka, visitors get to experience what we like to say is Ras Al Khaimah's own natural water park. So heading down to the city, there's so much to do down here. So you've got these Corniche areas that are like promenades, and everybody goes walking, jogging, cycling. There's restaurants, shops, like play areas for kids. It's just a really great place to sort of unwind and enjoy the views out over the mangroves. And we've got a number of modern malls in Ras Al Khaimah, all air conditioned, of course, for those days when you want to just escape the heat and treat yourself. And if malls aren't for you, you can soak up all the local flavors in all the traditional souks. So you can haggle for local food, spices, and lots of really unique souvenirs from the local people. There are many great spots inside and outside of the hotels where you can experience all the local Emirati cuisine. So if, like me, you're a massive foodie, you're guaranteed to find some really special food experiences. It's Middle Eastern food at its heart, but you can always find a modern twist on everything. And Simon mentioned sport before. We've got 2 golf courses in Ras Al Khaimah. It's really becoming a hot spot for the sport. We recently had some major tournaments in the city. So that's brought a lot of top golfers to the area for the first time. So I think you'll agree there's lots of, there's something for everybody in Ras Al Khaimah. But like I say, we're always a destination that's always in motion. So I'm just going to show you another quick video of what's still to come. So if you've got any business travel clients, it's always worth mentioning Ras Al Khaimah is a great place for events and conferences. The Al-Hamra Convention Centre is so unique as it sits right on the stunning beachfront, and being so accessible and unique makes it perfect for any occasion. Sustainability is incredibly important, so I just wanted to highlight that Ras Al-Khaimah is partnered with EarthCheck and is now a destination leader in sustainability, with plans to be a completely sustainable destination by 2025. Something really important for you guys. So we've recently launched a booking rewards program, and we'd love for you all to make sure that you're signed up and registered for this. We're going to be doing a prize draw every 2 months, and the prize will be a 5-night half-board stay at one of our hotels, as well as a destination experience. So all you have to do is make a booking to Ras Al-Khaimah and log it on rackrewards.com, and every booking is a prize draw entry. It's as simple as that. So that's it from me, and I believe that Travel Bulletin are going to share one more video for me.
Emma, that was fantastic. Lots happening. That's what we like. Apologies for the technical hitch.
That's all right. That's all right. We got there in the end. It's all
we
fine.
did. Absolutely. And more to the point, the more interesting thing about it is that everyone has to concentrate. It keeps everyone on their toes because they have to send us messages going, I can't see the video. and when we do the final cut, no one will know it happened. Honestly, no one will know. Everyone will just
only the live viewers had to see that.
And they will go, look, they've edited it out. It's fantastic. So yes, it's all good. Right, I've got lots of questions for you. So it's really good that people have been really attentive, but also they've got questions for you. Now, if there's any that you can't answer,
it's fine. I'll be honest.
Just block your screen out and I'll pretend you're not there. No, it'll all be good, honestly. So first of all, this is a nice, easy one. Elaine Mayrick asks, how far is it from the Al Marjan to the Old Town?
To the Old Town. So you just come back off from the seafront. There's a road that runs along, and it's 15, 20 minutes max in traffic.
Okay. So it's nice and easy. Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Caroline Cohn asks, she's got some clients who are going over Easter during Ramadan. I don't know whether that works, but anyway, obviously throughout the Ramadan period.
Mm-hmm.
Is everything open? And if not, then what isn't?
No, it is. Absolutely. It's all open. So you find that during Ramadan, there's no change at all when you're a tourist in and around the hotels as to what you're offered in terms of food and drink. There's absolutely no change. And actually, you find that if you're out and about in the local area in the evenings after dark, it kind of turns into a bit of a sort of party atmosphere in some places because they bring out all the street food, and it's actually quite an exciting time to visit the destination. So I think her clients are going to have a fantastic time.
But basically, because people can't eat during the day, then there's more of a party at night.
Yeah.
Sounds perfect. Okay, cool. Grazia Canigli asks, what is the sort of situation with regards to children in terms of what age you would recommend sort of minimum for? And if they do have youngsters, well, I think I'm guessing here she means with regards to some of the desert activities up at Jebel Jais and what have you. So it's that sort of thing. But also with regards to going out in the evening or whatever, do any of the hotels or any of the places that you know of offer anything babysitting wise?
Yeah, I mean, it's like any destination. As long as they pick the right hotel that offers the facilities that what they want for the kids, you know, you're going to have all the kids clubs and the babysitting. Some of the hotels have got like the water parks for the families. So that side of things, 100% that there is lots of really family orientated options. And obviously we've got a lot of all-inclusive options as well in Ras Al Khaimah, which is fantastic for families. In terms of the activities, obviously you've got all the things in the desert are really family friendly for younger kids. So you've got like obviously the camels and going to feed the onyxes and things like that. Up in the mountains, there's going to be a little bit more restrictions, but not much. I mean, it's more of a height restriction, I would say, for like the zip line and things like that, obviously. But
so it's
no,
like Disney from that point of view. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But look, it's a really family friendly place for sure.
Okay, I've got the questions are still coming in. It's mad. We'll have to keep it down to another 3, I think, and then that's it. Paula Boyd asks, how do you and how and through whom do you book the Bear Grylls Explorer camp?
So I believe some of the DMCs have it available to book. Alternatively, you can just book direct on the website. Yeah, that would be.
Is it on your website or is it a Bear Grylls Explorer Camp website?
Yeah, you can find everything, every activity that's available, you can find on the Visit Ras Al Khaimah website. So all the appropriate links will be available from there for the agents. It's got great information.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something to do with that now, if I can do, just in terms of that. Anything that you do with regards to that, do all of these things count towards the incentives? Any bookings you make that are for different sort of elements?
So for the RAC rewards program, it's as long as the agents are making the hotel night booking, so a 5-night hotel booking, that's essentially what counts to us.
Okay, fine, good. Okay, I've got Jenny Jackson asks, she is she feels that the some of the activities probably aren't covered under normal travel insurance, and if they aren't, do you offer anything? Is it done locally or do you offer it when booked, or how does one make sure that you've got the right cover?
I think actually you'd be surprised at how much of these things are covered in standard insurance policies. Like so many destinations now are offering these like zip line tours and things like that. So actually it is more of a standard in a normal insurance policy. For anything that isn't covered, obviously we can't provide that ourselves, but you know, any standard travel insurance provider is going to have a slightly a higher level of cover for slightly more extreme. So check
activities with your local provider.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if they've got any questions on that, I mean, as I say, there are some more. I've got some more here, but I'm going to stop it there because
you can send them through. That's
yeah,
fine.
Absolutely. And there are people who want to know about. Someone's off tomorrow for 10 days. Lovely.
Amazing.
Very nice too. She wants to know if she can visit 16 of the hotel. No, she wants to. So anyway, we'll get all these across to you anyway, and then you can follow up with any. I think the insurance one's quite interesting though, because I think you're probably right. A lot of things are covered, but also Jenny is quite right. There are insurance is a tricky thing because people they quite often try and get out of sort of covering everything if they possibly can. Anyway, we'll move on from that because that's me being contentious. We don't need that at all. Right, okay. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. I've got we've learned an awful lot about what you offer, what RAC offers. If you can now, please, Emma, share with us your competition prize and question. Agent, get your pads and pens ready. Remember, don't answer now. Do it via the travelbulletin.co.uk/webinar competition, which will be up once we finish. So Emma, tell us about your prize and your question, please.
So as you guys saw in the presentation, we've got the newly opened Intercontinental Mina Al Arab, and we're giving the lucky winner 2 nights in a sea view room bed and breakfast. And the question that you all need to know, hopefully you all picked up. So we just want to know what 3 key things are represented in our brand new Ras Al-Khaimah logo, which you can see behind me and behind Simon.
Yes, now if there was never a better reason to keep staring at me and Emma, then that's it. So obviously, thank you very much, Emma. Thank you for a great training session, and we'll see you again at the end.
Thanks, Simon. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Okay, right. It's now time to meet our second presenter. So let's say hello to Shola Thompson. Shola, you're supposed to appear magically. There you are. Are you well? And how has your campaign to bring Saudi to us been going?
It's been going really well. I would say since Saudi opened up, we've had about 60 tour operators that have added different itineraries and programs onto their portfolio. So far so good. It's being received really well. Yeah.
I was we as you know, Shola, we run sort of events all around the country as well, and I was with one supplier not that long ago who again had something they were offering in their portfolio. And actually, weirdly, we had some agents from Trailfinders again who I think produced a brochure as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it's coming at us from all sides, and we only just had yesterday we had the Saudi Grand Prix as well from Jeddah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great race.
As you can feel, I'm immersed in it already. So
I'm loving it. Yeah, we're really excited
good
to have F1 in Saudi for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's leave you to it. I will leave you to it, and please, I will then see you at the end of your presentation.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I believe we're going to start off with a quick video.
Our planet never ceases to amaze us. The best is always waiting to be discovered. Every corner hides unseen treasures. In unknown places, treasures of breathtaking beauty that leave you spellbound, where you can reach new heights and feel on top of the world. Run your fingers along the relics of a rich past. Discover new places where you can leave your mark. Be the first to witness a land of fascinating journeys. Where in the world could this be? Saudi. Welcome to Arabia.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Okay. So hopefully you all enjoyed that video. So first of all, as Simon said, my name is Shola Thompson. I'm Head of Trade for Saudi Tourism Authority, and welcome to this destination presentation. So yes, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that it also addressed some of those more surface level perceptions that you may have had. I think visuals go a really long way in addressing some of those pre-existing ideas and perhaps misperceptions that a lot of people do have right off the bat, because as you can see, Saudi is not just a huge desert. For example, it's an incredibly diverse country. It's brimming with culture, heritage, natural beauty, and has a really welcoming population. So while Saudi has seen millions of annual visitors for Islamic pilgrimages for many, many years, it's really completely a new leisure destination. And that's because it only opened up to tourism in 2019, and that's just pre-COVID. So just remember that Saudi opened up in 2019. So it's essentially completely brand new. And this is really something that doesn't come around very often, the opportunity to truly be an explorer and to discover the treasures that Saudi has to offer that have long been hidden. So I'm exceptionally excited to be able to share this amazing and untapped destination with all of you. And hopefully you'll be able to see a lot more exciting things that Saudi has to offer as I go through the presentation, but also just to let you know that Saudi's borders did officially reopen the 1st of August last year, but I'll talk a bit more about the entry requirements in just a second. So firstly, I want to just talk about the journey that the country is on and really cover why we're talking in the first place today, because this wouldn't have been possible a couple of years ago. So Saudi has begun issuing visas for the first time in 2019, and that's as part of its kingdom's Vision 2030, whereby Saudi decided to open up to the world culturally, but also economically. This is all with the aim of diversifying the country away from the dependence on oil and also create a vibrant society. It's incredibly young, and the nation itself has a population where 2/3 are just under the age of 30. And so they really see tourism as an integral part of its journey to really empower the locals, the youth with job creation, and really encourage cross-cultural communication and collaboration that wasn't necessarily there before. So there have been a lot of changes that have taken place, and it's not just been societal, it's been economic as well. Saudi Arabia has a rich heritage traditions that have long been shaped by its historic trade hub, and that's because it's also the birthplace of Islam. And the country will always stay true to this, but in recent years, the kingdom has undergone a significant cultural transformation, and that's really adapting these centuries-old customs to really fit with the contemporary world. So, for example, the empowerment of women and gender equality are key aspects of the Saudi 2030 vision and their development plan. And this is actually one area that they're really reaching their targets a full decade early. So, for example, women can drive. In fact, you may even have a female Uber driver while you're there, or a master, a dive master, or a tour guide for that matter. Women are not restricted by in travel or in their dress. It really is a choice. And whether they wear jeans or whether they have their hair showing, or perhaps whether they want to wear the Saudi outfit, it completely is their choice. So the World Bank named Saudi Arabia the top performer in terms of women's rights in the workplace in 2020. And in that time span of just 2 years, the labour force has gone from 20% to 33%, and that's with women participating. So it really has been an incredibly fast change, and a lot of perceptions and ideas that people have, especially around women, that's typically 5 or even 10 years now out of date in a lot of cases. The country's whole focus has really shifted as well when it comes to sustainability, because Saudi has committed to becoming completely carbon neutral, and it wants to derive 50% of its electricity from renewables by 2030. Now, March last year, they actually announced that Saudi would plant 10 billion trees across the kingdom and 50 billion trees across the Middle East in the world's largest forestation project. And they really want to be seen as thought leaders in this space, and they really want to be able to weave sustainability into every project that they do, and make sure that it really does work. Now, they've got a lot of ambitious plans, which I'll talk about a bit later on, but they want to make sure that they, as I mentioned before, do try and steer away from oil and not be an oil-dependent nation. But this is something that it's a work in progress, and yeah, they're really working towards sustainability. So in terms of access, it's the perfect location for a mid-haul trip, and it's just 7 hours from the UK and Ireland. Saudia is the national carrier, and they fly direct from Heathrow to Riyadh and to Jeddah. Now, pre-pandemic, they did also have a flight from Manchester, and we're hoping to see that resume in the not too distant future. But BA also does operate from Heathrow into Riyadh as well. There are lots of indirect carriers, including Emirates, Etihad, Qatar Airways, Turkish, though all of the regional players are flying into Saudi. The country itself has about 27 different domestic airports, and that's throughout the entire country. Now, Saudia is also considered, also has a low cost carrier as well as being international, but they also have FlyNAS that flies into domestic airports. So as it sounds, the country is really massive, and flying domestically is absolutely an option when you're out there. Onward destinations from Saudi also include the Seychelles, Maldives, Mauritius, South Africa, Malaysia, you name it, there's a wide variety. So it really does lend itself quite nicely to being a twin centre destination as well. So onto the e-visa. In September 2019, Saudi introduced an online visa for 49 different nationalities, and that's including the UK and Ireland. And it's a really simple process, and it can be completed online. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and you get the visa straight into your inbox straight away, usually within 24 hours, absolutely. No problems whatsoever. Now, it's a 1-year multi-entry visa, and it allows tourists to spend up to 90 days in the country, and that excludes the Hajj season, and that's 7th to the 12th of July. That's for this year anyhow. For anybody that might be unaware, Hajj is a religious pilgrimage that Muslims undertake at one point in their lives, and if they're able to, and it takes place for about a month, depending on the Islamic calendar, and it's somewhat similar to Ramadan. So the tourist visa is valid for any time of the year other than Hajj. That time of year, as I say, is reserved for the religious pilgrims coming to Saudi Arabia. Now, with VAT, the cost of the e-visa is £100, and that also includes health insurance while you're in the country as well. Borders opened in Saudi, as I say, last year. However, when it comes to vaccination, you need to be fully vaccinated, and they accept everything from your AstraZeneca's to your Pfizer to your Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and basically all of the vaccinations that are available in the UK are accepted. Now, travellers must register the vaccination status, and then we have a portal called the Mukim. It's a web portal where you just need to make sure that you upload your vaccination, whether it's your first, second or booster, you just need to upload it there, and you get a paper certificate. Make sure you print that. I will always have that on arrival when you get into Saudi, just to make sure you've got access to it straight away. Now, once you actually arrive in Saudi, one thing to note is that English is widely spoken. It's even taught in schools. Most people are bilingual, and even the road signs are bilingual as well. It's a very safe destination, and it has an extremely low crime rate. Now, consistent with customs and culture, alcohol is prohibited throughout the country, and it is certainly one of the questions we do get asked quite a lot. There are no loopholes. You can't consume alcohol in hotels at any point. You can't bring it into the country, and you can't purchase it. But there's truly so much to explore without alcohol. So you'll see that hopefully in my next couple of slides, you'll realize that who needs alcohol, right? However, something to also note is that I mentioned before, because of the fact that we have so many domestic airports, twin centering is always an option. So that's just another way people tend to kind of get around it. But also we have a number of cruises that come into the country. So cruise passengers can drink when they are out of port, just to note. Now, female tourists will not have a different experience compared to men. They can travel around freely, they can drive, they're not obliged to wear an abaya or cover their hair. And for men and women, we just say that you need to respect the local customs and just dress modestly. So that what that really means is just to make sure that you have clothing that kind of comes below the knee and just below past your elbow, and to not wear excessively tight clothing. But it's such a hot country. When I was there, tight clothing was not something I was interested in whatsoever. Now, in terms of bathing suits, modest dress is definitely still required on public beaches, but it is up to the discretion of private establishments. And so you are able to, if you're on a private beach, for example, or you're doing a private boat tour, then absolutely wear bikinis, speedos, that's perfectly acceptable. And I would just say check with the hotel or your provider just to make sure. And the same goes for whether there's a separate men and women pool facility, depending on the hotel that you're in. There's no issues with unmarried couples sharing a room. Hotel staff will not ask what the relationship is between traveling companions, whether they're friends, couples, or otherwise. So now we're ready to explore some of the iconic locations and experiences Saudi Arabia has to offer. And that's really centered all around the unmatched culture, heritage, adventure, nature, and its famous Arabian hospitality. Now, as the 12th largest country in the world, which not a lot of people realize, Saudi offers a very diverse landscape. You'll have beautiful oases, you'll have dramatic mountaintops, pristine beaches, as well as rivers. But today we're going to start in the center of the country in Riyadh. Now, Riyadh is the capital of Saudi, where travelers will enter. And it's an amazing blend of architecture, ancient and modern culture. Now, it's home to historical roots of the kingdom and the modern day metropolis, and that's what you'll really see here, what you can really see here. There's been a lot of investment actually in the arts and culture over the recent years, particularly in the sports facilities as well. But you'll also be able to find, as any big city, museums, shopping, whether it's trendy boutiques, traditional souks, spas, fine dining. You can find that all in Riyadh. Some of the highlights also include the Saudi National Museum, which documents the story of Arabia from prehistory through pre-Islamic Arabian kingdoms, the birth and the rise of the creation of the kingdom. But you also find buildings that you can actually see here in this picture, like the tallest building that you can see here, that's called the Kingdom Tower, and that's called the sky bridge that kind of just goes across it, and you can actually see incredible views of the entire city. You'll also find the Four Seasons in that particular building as well, just to note. And yet just 20 minutes from that modern day metropolis, you'll find Diriyah. So just on the outskirts, of Riyadh is Diriyah, which is a historic town that was once the center, and it's a center of knowledge for all Arabian Peninsula. It was located on a fertile river valley, and it was once the natural resting place for many traders and travelers and pilgrims traversing through the entire peninsula to Mecca and Medina for many, many centuries. So Diriyah itself grew and became the home to the Saudi royal family and eventual birthplace of the first Saudi state. And today it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So the site you're looking at the moment is called At-Tarif, which you can see it's absolutely beautiful in terms of its architecture, and it's an example of traditional architecture, and it's one of the world's largest mud brick cities, which has carefully been restored over many, many years. And it is soon to open to visitors. So you can't go yet, but I'm expecting in the next couple of months, you will be able to go and have a tour around. Across the road, you'll also be able to find, and it's hard to picture here, but you'll also be able to find a number of hotels, restaurants, residential areas. They're really building up this area to be to host sports and cultural events as well. And it's really going to be a destination in its own right. Now, just outside of Riyadh, you'll also find an escarpment known as the Edge of the World for obvious reasons. It offers spectacular views from 1,000 feet. And from here, you can see it's about, you can't see, but it is about 1,000 feet above the valley floor, which was once an ocean, an ancient ocean bed that turned into a caravan route. It's a favorite spot of the locals, and it's great to be able to go there and watch the sunset, have some coffee, some tea. And it's about 90 minutes outside of the city, just for geography reasons. And here you can actually not just walk up to the top, but you can hike it, you can camel ride, you can do a 4x4 with a local guide as well. And at the bottom, you can actually go and see a lot of ancient rock carvings as well. And I can appreciate that this picture, it looks quite narrow, but it is really, I promise, wide enough for a 4x4 or camel trekking as well. Now, to the east of Riyadh, you'll find the largest sand desert in the entire world, which is Rab al Khali. It's also known as the Empty Quarter, which you might have heard of before. But just to give you an idea, this is almost the size of the entire country of Turkey, so it's huge. Dunes get up to about 250 meters high, making it an absolutely epic location for desert activities like sand bashing, dune boarding, stargazing, and you can even do longer treks with an actual Bedouin guide as well. And yet, amongst the desert, you also have another completely different landscape. Now, this is Al-Azhar, the world's largest natural oasis, which has about just over 100 different desert springs, which is also considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is just a couple of hours away from an area called Dammam, which is on the Arabian Gulf coast, and Dammam is known for its arts and its beaches. It's also really well connected to Bahrain, and that's because they have a 25-kilometer long bridge that's connecting the two. So again, making it fantastic for a multi-center. So to the northwest of the country, you have Tabuk. Tabuk is the region, but it's also the name of the capital city in Tabuk. But it also borders onto Jordan. Tabuk is really well known for its rich Bedouin culture, and it's an ancient archaeological site, and it's, it's got many stories. But just outside of the city, you also have rocky mountains and wadis. There's an amazing, beautiful Wadi Al-Disa, and that's also very well known for its Valley of the Palms, and again, offers some amazing adventure opportunities. The locals typically know this as the Grand Canyon of Saudi Arabia. Now, believe it or not, in the mountains in the winter months, you actually get snow in Saudi, and it's quite amazing here, and a unique sight to see, with camels trudging through the snow. Again, really not something that you get to see, and it's not something that you get to think of when you think of Saudi. Now, moving south, you'll find Alula. Now, Alula is about an hour from Jeddah and from Riyadh. Now, it's one of Saudi's most iconic destinations, and it's known as a living museum, and it's telling the story of about, I would say, 200,000 years of human history. And amongst this amazing landscape, you can do everything from, it's got excellent hiking, cycling, zip lining. When I was there, they had Desert X, which was a fantastic open air art installation exhibition that had come over from California. It really is a fantastic area to spend time in. Now, the centerpiece of Alula is Hegra, Saudi's first UNESCO World Heritage Site. We now have 6 of them, but this is also the second city of the Nabatean civilization that built Petra in Jordan. So you might have noticed that it looks quite familiar to you, and that's just because Hegra has about, I would say, about 100 different beautiful monumental tombs similar to what you can see here, and that's been carved from rock formations, and really offers an opportunity for you to explore the undiscovered world of this particular area without crowds. Accommodation also to note in Alula is really focused on the more boutique hotels. They did just have a banyan tree that opened up as well. And when I was there, I stayed in an RV caravan, which is quite unique. But you can also find a lot of camp and campsites, luxury boutique campsites there too. But they're all very sustainable and really celebrate the natural environment as well. One thing to note is you won't get any high rises out in Alula, because that would then spoil the pristine destination and the kind of view that it has with the skyline. And you'll also find that there's a lot of festivals and concerts that's also being hosted in Alula. Now, towards the coast, you have Umluj. This is renowned from its stunning beaches and turquoise ocean. Now, this area is sometimes referred to as the Saudi Maldives. And here you can just imagine, I mean, it's absolutely stunning, but you can spend days snorkeling, swimming, boating between the hundreds of natural islands. And that's just, it has about hundreds of kilometers of pristine beaches that look just like this. Now, Saudi's Red Sea coast is also home to incredible marine life, and it's been completely untouched. You've got everything from dolphins, turtles, and just some more abundant wildlife, but it also means that the coral life there really does thrive, and it's really fantastic and a must-see for diving and wildlife enthusiasts. Now, down towards the coast, you'll have Jeddah. And now this is Saudi's second largest city and a vibrant cosmopolitan hub. Jeddah itself has long been the entry point for many traders and religious pilgrims for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's the city where they say that Eve was laid to rest according to local law. So you have a really interesting mix of outside influences. It also hosts big ticketed events like the Red Sea International Film Festival. And there's a really vibrant art scene here with many art galleries that's peppered throughout the city. And not only do you have piers and swimming bays and beautiful restaurants, but you also have many walking and cycling paths with a collection of just amazing iconic sculptures that you'll be able to see there too. But for many, actually just being able to watch the sunset over the Red Sea. And as you can see here, what people also like to do is just see the launch of the 300-meter King Fahed's fountain, which is actually the world's tallest, which is illuminated by 500 spotlights that light up, especially around midnight with the just backdrop of the beautiful city. It's just fantastic and absolutely beautiful for just a lovely stroll. Now, Jeddah's UNESCO listed heritage site, one of Jeddah's, is also Al-Balad. Now, it's in the Old Town, and it's one of the kingdom's most interesting quarters. It was originally built in the 7th century out of coral stone, and it's a labyrinth of narrow alleyways, ancient merchant houses, spiced scented soups and traditional bakeries. I think I spent about 4 hours here because you just get lost, and there's just so much to see. But a lot of the buildings have been restored in recent years. There are some empty spaces that have now been converted into quirky cafes and art galleries. So you can see you really can spend a long time here just getting to grips with the locals, who again were just so friendly and welcoming, and it really was just a fantastic time to be able to spend. You can also have a guided tour of this particular area as well, and just learn about the history and the architecture of the neighborhood. Now, further south from Jeddah, you have Al-Balha. Now, Al-Balha is basically has one of the tallest mountains in the region, and it just offers countless outdoor activities for hiking, and especially in the summer months, it's definitely one of the cooler places in the country. It stays around 25 degrees in this part of the country, so definitely cooler compared to Riyadh, where it'll be about 40 to 45 degrees in the summer months. But down towards the south, compared to Tabuk as well, it's just a lot cooler, which does kind of make it more of a year-round destination. Now, the highlands of Asir at the southern end of the Red Sea, oh my gosh, it's just incredible. But yet again, just another kind of landscape where you can see these lush green valleys. There's fruit trees, there's baboons running through the trees. It really is, again, just absolutely fascinating.
It looks beautiful, Charlotte. I'm really sorry, but we are going to have to stop because we're way over time.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize.
No, that's all right.
But that's about it.
That's good. Right, okay, splendid. What we'll do is we've got lots of questions for you, but we'll forward them all on to you so you can answer them separately. And then you can obviously follow up. I know that people will want to see your videos and things like that. So you're going to have to forward on whatever else you've got in terms of anything you want to share with people as well. But thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
As I know you've got lots to say.
Always.
But if you can please, Charlotte, if you can give us details of your wonderful prize and also your question.
Absolutely. So my question is, and hopefully you can still remember it seeing as I went on for so long. However, at the start, I did mention what year did Saudi open up to tourism? Hopefully you can remember that much.
Okay, I remember you making a point of it, Shola. I remember you saying it. You might need to remember this. So this is, what year did Saudi open up to tourism? It may have been the year before the pandemic, but we'll let agents decide on that one. Obviously, do go to the website travelbulletin.co.uk/webinar competition for that. Before we finish today's training, we need to announce the name of our spot prize winner from earlier. The question we asked was an easy one: which sporting events are being held in the Middle East later this year? We've got the Football World Cup, and also we've got numerous Middle East Grand Prix, which we've had a couple already. We've had Bahrain, we've had Saudi as well. So, and we've got more later in the year. So either F1 or World Cup was going to be a winner. And the winner is, let me just check that I've got this right, because one of my colleagues sent it to me. We have Adam Burgess, who's a travel counsellor. Well done, Adam. Your prize will be winging its way to you. I think Adam is one of the people that I've seen at recent training events live as well, which is great. So thank you for that. We've come to the end of our webcast now. So if you need a recap on any of the training that you've seen this afternoon, you'll be able to watch a recorded version with any hiccups edited out tomorrow morning via our website, via our Facebook page, and also on YouTube. I'm sure you'll agree we've been treated some brilliant training today. So please, if I can welcome back our partners, Emma from Al-Khaimah and Shola representing Saudi, please obviously give them a virtual round of applause. But obviously, if you can do, obviously we'd like you, if you can do, presenters, finally, to thank all of the agents for joining us today, and give them a big wave goodbye. So thank you very much, and see you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Thank you.